I'm Abigail Velez at the live desk, taking a live look at our Texas Capitol, where the redistricting battle continues to dominate. After House Republicans pushed through a new congressional map that would give the GOP 5 more seats, Democrats are promising to fight back both in court and nationally. California is now weighing its own counter map, and some Democratic leaders, including Representative Ann Johnson of Houston, are backing that effort. She's joining us now live this morning. Good morning, Representative.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, Representative, you've publicly voiced support for Governor Newsom and California's Prop 50 as a response to Texas's map. Why do you see California's move as an important countermeasure, and what message do you think it sends to Republicans here in Texas?
Well, Texas Democrats realized weeks ago that Republicans were trying through the shadow of the night to steal 5 seats before the next election, to determine the outcome before anybody has a chance to vote, because they are afraid of voters, because their policies are so bad. And so I am grateful that Democrats around the nation have now been awoken to the fact that Republicans are trying to steal the next election, and they are responding in kind, and only in kind. So don't forget, California has an independent commission. They set their districts out determined by their voters, in stark contrast to Texas, which is under heavy Republican control. And just 4 years ago, they drew maps to heavily favor their party. It's not been enough. And so now we've done something extraordinary called mid-decade redistricting. It's really not normal, despite what they suggest. And just as you said earlier, Governor Abbott wants it to be a deep red now color. The problem is you can't change the color of party on the backs of the color of minorities. And what we know about these maps is it now takes 1 white voter to every 3 Hispanic voters and 1 white voter to every 5 voters to have the same political voice. That is blatantly discriminatory and racist.
Representative, we heard you talk passionately about this yesterday on the House floor, but we also heard that Republicans accused Democrats, including yourself, of holding up flood relief by breaking quorum for 2 weeks. How do you respond to that criticism?
Absolutely not. I sit on the flood committee. Don't forget, y'all all know you're in Austin. Governor Abbott, with a stroke of the pen, can do a budget execution and provide relief. He could have provided relief from July 4th, when he wasn't even in town, all the way until he called the first special session. Even if he claims that during that session that he couldn't do it, the day that his sonny died, the first session, and waited to start the second one, he could have done a budget execution. I am grateful. Unfortunately, so many families that lost their children are from my area in Houston. And I am grateful to those that had given me courage and said, we understand the fight you're doing on redistricting. We understand that this is a constitutional battle. And we also understand that the Republicans are using us as political cover to try to shield what they're doing to steal seats before the next election. And so I'm going to gladly go to the floor today and vote on the flood relief, but I will remind everybody what my colleagues said in the committee weeks ago. Real policies that affect this change are going to take more than 30 days. And please don't accept what happens today as the solution for these problems. Republicans have been in charge of this state for more than 30 years. And so when you look at the fact that you lost more than 137 people, 27 8-year-old little girls in a cabin in a known flash flood zone because politicians didn't have the courage to put in a warning system because they were afraid to tell their voters that they were going to use their taxes and their property taxes to do something that would benefit tourists coming to their county. That is penny wise and pound foolish. That's where we are as a state under Republican control. And unfortunately, the redraw of the maps now is just further exacerbating extremism. We're not talking about issues that worry Texans. The governor just said yesterday, we're coming back for more special session to deal with ivermectin. He thinks it's special to get a horse dewormer that you can get at a feed store, and somehow we need to have a discussion of whether or not you can get this in a pharmacy. This is performative politics at its worst.
Representative, thank you so much for that feedback. We appreciate you. We're going to have more within the next hour on this redistricting battle. Again, thank you, Representative.